Speak Between the Lines podcast, episode 13. This is your boy King Ave,
J-Rock,
and Rez.
Yes, sir. We are back in the building with more action, more great info, more great topics. How you guys feeling today?
Feeling good, feeling great. How are you? Okay, yeah, we really need that sound
I
clip.
want that sound
Yeah, we need that
That
sound
sound
clip.
clip will be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you don't think of shit.
Copyright our shit real quick.
I know, right?
I just want you to know. Copyright.
Hell yeah. I'm surprised they didn't catch that. I'm surprised they didn't catch many of our Catch That Beat songs. Or unless they only need one to cancel out the whole.
Yeah, they only one.
They only need to hear one. Like, oh, clear. We gonna fuck all this shit off. Y'all ain't getting paid for none of this.
Nah, we only need one.
So who do they choose? Because we Catch That Beat. We do a lot of songs. So who do they choose?
Probably the most popular artist.
I guess so.
That's why we're doing movie quotes.
That makes a good sense.
Called Will Smith. It took them a while, but they finally caught him.
They finally caught that shit. Oh man, yeah, we are back in the building, man. So what we want to jump into first? We got
Wins and losses.
wins and losses, dubs and L's.
All right. Anybody got any?
For me, we got a pecking order. J-Rock.
Man. I really don't got shit this week. I ain't gonna lie to you. I really don't got shit this week, man. Like, this going first shit is for the birds, nigga.
Let's go. Yo, be the headliner, baby. You gotta be the headliner, baby.
Man,
Bro,
that bus came.
Hey, bro, last week he pulled somebody's ass. This week he went for that shit. Like, look, man, I ain't got shit for y'all.
I'm
this
be
week.
real with y'all this week. It was a real lackluster week, man.
Oh man. Oh man.
Rest?
Well, I mean, for me, my win. So I did get a chance to kick it with my brother. Long overdue. We went out for drinks. Really just kind of found out some things about my family that I just didn't know, because sometimes that's what happens when you chill with family over drinks. All the shit comes out.
Right.
And so it actually was a good thing, because it actually helped start the process of really repairing a relationship that I kind of took for granted for the longest. And I definitely owe an apology on that. And so, yeah, that was actually really fruitful. So, yeah, I caught a dub.
That's a good point. That's actually a really good dub. It's kind of really to piggyback off of you. I had a dub similar to yours when we went to Florida. We drove out to Florida. On the way back, we stopped in Louisiana to visit my dad's side of the family.
That boot, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
bro, that boot. So, shout out to Bastrop, Louisiana.
Bastrop, man.
Yeah, man. So my people were out there. We went out there. That was the first time they saw the baby or whatever. And every time I go out there, because just to be transparent, my dad is in jail right now, right? So he wasn't there. But every time I go out there, my aunt, my T, I call her my T, we have this long discussion about my father.
Right.
And she kind of brought up something, because every time I go down there, once we get ready to leave, it's like they always say, now, you know what I'm saying, come visit us. You got to come out more, yada yada yada, whoop the whoop. And I'm like, well, yeah, I do. And then it was something that dawned on me that she said, because my wife has been wanting to go out there for the longest.
Right.
After Alani. And she said, every time my wife brings up Louisiana, she says, hey, let's go. And I'm thinking, man, yeah, we're going to get out there. I kept pushing it back.
Right.
And then my aunt, we were having that discussion, and she was like, do you think that the relationship that you have with your father is hindering you from coming to see us?
Wow.
Or the lack thereof of the relationship. And I was like, I was down myself. I was like, nah, man, that can't be it. 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 But I was like, that could be it. So, I mean, it just, every time I go to Louisiana, I'm always faced with a conversation that I need to have with myself. You know what I'm saying? About my relationship with my father. And I thought that was a win, because every time I go to Louisiana, I have questions, and I always get them answered in some way, of some way, shape, or form. I always have some questions about me, myself, or whatever, and they're always answered either indirectly or directly every time I go to Louisiana. So I think I want to classify it as a win because every time I go, I learn more about myself through the disconnect I have with my father. You know what I'm saying? So
that's pretty powerful, bro. I would say it's a win, like just off awareness. I mean, like from someone who's had struggles in family relationships, like like anytime you can glean something new off of what you thought it was, or at least how I can respond to something versus just going through it how I always have. I mean, that's a win. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience every time I go. So yeah, man. I just have this revelation, I guess, in a sense. So
well, let me ask you: is it something that you're going to start doing more often?
As far as what?
Like going down Louisiana.
Yeah, no, I want to. And mind you, I love that side of the family. Like from aunties, uncles to my cousins. Like every time I go down there, I always have a good time. It's always a good experience. Like it's never like, oh man, like I'm ready to go, man. Like shit, what time is it or whatever? No, like I love being down there. You know what I'm saying? And my aunt, she was just hitting me in the face because she was like, I can't say distance because me and my wife we go to Houston. Like it ain't shit.
Yes, y'all do.
You know what I'm saying? So she kind of put me in a corner to where I had to question myself. Like, look, is this the reason I'm not out here as much?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Give a real answer.
Yeah, so it made me self-evaluate. But nah, yeah, absolutely. I do definitely plan on going out there more for sure.
That's fire.
What's up, man? I like
that's
that.
Fire.
Yeah.
So, that was a little deeper than I wanted to get because that now I'm starting to almost wanted to start a conversation on that because that. We might have to venture into that. Like
I'm not saying
like
it's a good topic.
That's dope. So, all right. So from a relationship standpoint, let me ask you.
I'm in the hot seat this week. Last week it was it was rock.
Go and lay out on this couch. Go and lay out on this couch, man.
Last week it was rocking the therapy session.
Go and get comfortable.
Now, so like, how often would you see them a year?
Oh, nah, it's like when I say I'm hardly out there, it's like maybe once a year, once every other year. Like the last time I went out there, the last time we went to Louisiana, it was a little bit after me and my wife got married. So me and my wife got married in April. I want to say we went either that September. It had to have been that September because we didn't go the next year, and then we ended up going. I think this year we went this year. So yeah, like it's.
So it's been two times in the last 4 or 5 years.
Maybe 2 times in the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah, 3 years for sure.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's not anything against them. It's just I just don't be out. I just don't go, which is crazy. So
do you feel anything different when you cross the state line? Like when you hit Louisiana, is there anything internally that?
Nah, it's not. Like I think the feeling I get is when it's brought up. Like how it was brought up this time was, like I said, we were driving to Florida. We had to go to Louisiana, and then we passed the exit sign going to Bastrop. And my wife was like, "Oh, there's Bastrop. How far is that from here?" I was like, "I don't know. It's maybe like an hour and a half." And she was like, "Do you want to hit it on the way back? We should hit it on the way back." And I was like, "I mean, I don't know. We can see. Let's just see how the schedule is." And I started coming up with all these excuses in my head, right? Like we were coming back on Thursday. Okay, that's a weekday. They might not be available. And then, we were riding with her mom, and her mom may not want to stay. So all these excuses started populating in my head. And then even when we got to Florida, because my wife was like, "Okay, well, just text her and ask her to see if it's okay if we stop by." And I was like, "Okay." So I was like, when she told me, I was driving. So she's like, "Text him." I was like, "Okay." And I was like, well, I can't text him now. I'm driving.
Nigga, you always texting driving.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight up. But that was the excuse I came up with. I was like, okay, well,
I want to be safe right now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but shit, and here I am 15 minutes later on Facebook and shit driving at the same damn time. But yeah, so it was like, okay, well, I'll text him when I get to Florida. And we got to Florida. And we got to unpack, shit's going on, baby's crying and shit. We going to the beach and doing all this other stuff. So we left to go to Florida Sunday. I don't think I text my T or my aunt. For those who are from Louisiana, I didn't text my
auntie.
T.
Yeah, okay. So I didn't text my T until like Tuesday night, maybe, and we had been in Florida since we had left
Sunday.
Yeah, and so it was like, hey, I was like, hey. Just as that was it. If we being transparent, I was like, hey, she was like, hey, what's up? I was like, so we're thinking about maybe stopping by on the way back. I don't know, are you available or anything like that? And she was like, yeah, no, come through. And I was like, okay, cool. So I told my wife, she's like, all right, bet. And then my wife was like, we should try to stay overnight. You should see if she should let us stay overnight. And I was like, you want to stay overnight? Because I'm thinking, I'm like, it's just something else. Mind you, I want to be there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got nothing against them.
Yeah, I want to be there.
Sound like it from this story.
That's why I'm saying that I know I wanted to be there. And it was just like, okay, all right, I'll ask and see. But you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, the ill feel comes when, hey, let's go out there. But now when I'm out there, it's like, shit,
you're already there.
You know what I'm saying? We chilling, we cooling, drinking or whatever have you, whatever we doing down there. Like I said, I'm kicking it with my cousins, but yeah. What? You talking about Bentley?
Yeah, I was just laughing. I just wanted to see how far you go. All right. For those that are listening, like he was really trying to get picked up, and I was like, okay, let's see what kind of lengths he go to try to get this done. So like move my chair away from him.
Hell nah. He finna make that leap.
Like, that was funny. Okay, but go ahead, because I didn't want to take over for them.
That was it, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so take us through the journey. So you go to Florida. Clearly you had a great time because I saw the pictures. Like, man,
yeah,
that was sick.
Yeah, we had a good ass time.
So now you're in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So you're on the way back. What happens?
All right, so on the way back from Louisiana to Dallas, or
no, from Florida to Louisiana.
Florida to Louisiana. All right, so really, really just kind of the same thoughts, but it was the breaking the ice. What it was for me, it was like, okay, like, let me see if this is cool. Like, let me start the text to see if it's all right. Now, when everything was clear, it was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Let's head out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But of course, my auntie was cool with us staying the night. When I got there, it was fish fried.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? Or they had picked up fish and all that stuff. So, which is fine because I don't eat fried fish a lot because my wife doesn't like it. So every time I get a chance to have fried fish, like, nigga, it's like a new experience.
Down.
Yeah, for real. But not on the road there. It was chill. Like, I didn't have any ill feels or anything like that. It was legit.
So do you feel like? So is it okay? So is it just one of those things like? Maybe you're subconsciously avoiding something that reminds you of your father?
It could be. Or the fact that every time I know I go to Louisiana, the conversation is going to happen.
Right.
Yeah. And it's the crazy thing, what's crazy about it is it's not even the fact that the conversation's pushed on me. I bring up the conversation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not like I'm not going down there because I know they're going to ask me about him. Mm-hmm. It's just when I go, I know that I'm going to ask about him.
Got it.
You know what I mean? And it's like, sense. Do I want to face that? You know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, dude, it's shit. It is what it is. It happened. And what's funny was it was like, mind you, this is Thursday night. So my T got to wake up at 5 a.m. to go to work.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in there, getting aligning and my wife and stuff situated so they can go to sleep. My aunt just in the kitchen by herself, just sitting on the table, just sitting at the table, just not doing shit, just knowing that I'm going to want to have this conversation. So she wanted to be up and available for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So she just sitting at the table and shit, just not on her phone, not doing nothing, just sitting there. And I see her, I'm just like,
It's that time. Let's go.
For real, man. I'm just like, we sit down and, we have a conversation first. And then I ask, of course, this conversation, I'm like asking, like, how is he doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we just break off into this conversation. And, it's not even really about her questioning me more so than it is about me just talking about stuff. Like whether it's situations that, I've come across with my own daughter or anything like that. Like it's just me kind of just venting through the absence of my dad.
Right.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, we had a discussion. We talked or whatever, and I guess she was just making herself available for me because she knows every time I go down there, it's something that's gonna take place.
Right. No, I definitely get that, and like, no, I understand because like I'm the same way with my dad, right? Mm-hmm. Because at first I was living in Louisiana, he was out here in Dallas. So it was the issue as a child, I'm not able to travel unless he comes get me or, it's a trip out here. And like now that I've been in Dallas, unfortunately, I've only been, I'll say over to his place like 10 times. In like almost 5 years.
And he stays out here?
Yeah, no, like he's literally like he's on the way to Red's house. Like for me, I would just go down 75. It's off of 2X. It's like probably not even 45 minutes away from me.
Wow, okay.
And yet I'm not there a lot. And it's the same thing. When I'm there, I'm there. You know what I mean? Like I love being around my family, and I don't know. It's like I just don't go a lot. I don't know why.
Yeah. I could. Is it bother you right now?
Yeah. No, this damn pop protector is killing me.
Oh, okay. No, I'm asking if is
You're something about the pop.
No, I'm talking about him. Is he bothered because he's playing with his pop protector?
Oh yeah.
Well, no, it keeps on falling off. I'm trying to get it protected. Okay.
The pop protector.
Okay, there we go. No, I'm good. But yeah, no, it's that weird dynamic because like just like you, I love being around my dad, my stepmom. Every time I'm there, it's always laughs. It's always a good time. Mm-hmm. Whether we're going out to eat, we're just staying at the house, but I just don't go a lot.
Right. Yeah.
That's a strange dynamic because I don't know why. You know what I mean? Because like when I'm at home, when I'm in Shreveport, I would go to my parents' house, to my mom and my stepdad all the time. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wasn't, hey Jerry, you need to come over here, or it's a holiday, so I'm going over there. It's just I went home.
So do your dad talk?
A little bit, not much.
Okay, because I know you said he's on the way here. So, how often would you say y'all talk?
Man, few and far between. Like maybe 2 to 3 times in a 6-month period.
Okay.
And like the crazy, like I don't go out of my way not to call him. It's like I'll be doing other things.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like I was like, okay, well, I need to call him this time. And like that's really what happened. Like I'll have a dream about family, and I'll just call everybody.
Gotcha.
But if something doesn't prompt me to think about it, I'm out doing other things.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Big shit. I'm in that same boat. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's not my dad, it's that side of the family. You know what I mean?
Right. I kind of I didn't really talk to my dad a lot. He would have to call me, so it would be like a situation where back in the day it would maybe like 3-4 weeks in a row I don't call him, and then he'll call me to check on me, and probably because I was trying to still process some stuff. And I remember we were in a book club, and we were reading something about relationships, and they were talking about striving to to how do I say it? Striving to improve not necessarily a broken relationship, but a weakened relationship. I think that's how they said it. And so they challenged us all to reach out to, that individual that we may have a hard time talking to. And I remember this one dude was in there and he was crying because he hadn't talked to his father in like 4 or 5 years.
Wow. And that's crazy.
Yeah, it was a minute. And so he was challenged to reach out to him. Well, I guess I feel comfortable saying this because, I'm not going to say his name, but the reason he had a challenge coming to talk to his father was because he came out the closet.
Oh.
And so that was just like a fractured relationship. And so he struggled to do that. And I remember they challenged all of us to find that person that we had that weekend relationship with and just call them. Just on the weekend. It was like whether they answer or not is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that you had the gumption in yourself to reach out. So the challenge was to improve. It was more of a self-improvement test.
Man,
it was strong.
You know what's interesting about that? One thing that my T brought up, like I said, my pops is in jail right. He's in jail right now. But my grandmother writes him, right?
Right.
And so my aunt was like, "You should write him, right? But just get everything that you want to get out or whatever. You just put it on paper and you just write it to him. You just send it to him, right? It doesn't have to be a, hey, how you doing? Please reach out to me and all that stuff. Not just whatever feelings, whatever concerns that you had or have now that we're growing up, or that you had when you were growing up. Write them all on a piece of paper and then just send it to him, right. Because essentially she approached it as that's more of a self-relief for you.
Correct. Right. That frees your spirit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was like, I thought about it and I was like, man, like, do I want to? And like, if I do, like, cause my thought was I'm gonna do this and I'm not even gonna put a return address on it because I don't even know if he's going to want to write me back.
Right. I see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I was gonna just write it and just send it. But I haven't even just brought myself to do it. Not that because I'm like waiting off, but I just don't know how to even start that conversation. So it's interesting that you even brought that up because my aunt did the same thing when we was in Louisiana.
Well, here's what happened from that. So he took the challenge and he ended up reaching out to his father. Now his father picked up the phone, which he was not expecting. And when he came back, he was describing. He was like, it was just this like awkward silence because he wasn't ready. Like he was just like all right. Like he was looking at the phone. He was like, all right, I'm gonna call him. No, I'm not gonna call him. Like this is stupid. And he was like, no, I promised them I was gonna call because he knew when we came back we were gonna ask everybody if they stepped up to the challenge or not.
Right.
And so he called. The father picks up the phone and he was just like. He described it to us. He just like, they just kind of started off with like, hey dad, how are you doing? And I think it was a little rough at first because it was just like, well, why are you calling and stuff like that.
Right.
And what do you want? And he was saying, well, I don't really want anything. I was just calling because I was thinking about you. And they ended up, I guess I kind of want to fast forward this story because I don't want to give too much of his stuff
personal
out. But
business.
yeah, but more or less, the end result was that phone call led to a sit down at I don't know, they probably went to like Starbucks or something, and that sit down led to a conversation. That conversation led to them actually having some semblance of a relationship. Now I haven't talked to them, so I don't know how far that proceeded. I don't know if they got all the way back, but all I'm saying is that one challenge led to something where when he came back to the group, he was so grateful to the group for even being a part of it and for that challenge to be issued. Because one thing about forgiveness is inherently forgiveness is also selfish. And I'm not trying to go back to a prior episode, but it is. Forgiveness is the key to release for yourself, not for the other person. True forgiveness is really for you internally, for your spirit, for your soul. So I don't know, again, fate happens. Like, clearly we didn't plan to discuss this.
Right.
But there may be value in taking, her word and writing him.
Yeah.
And it may be some value in putting the address on there to see if he writes back. Now, you don't necessarily have to expect anything back, but I think that might be an opportunity or a challenge for yourself to get all of, and I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's frustration. It may not be frustration. I don't know.
Whatever it is, right.
Whatever that emotion is, it'll allow you to get that out where it's done. It's off of you. Mm-hmm. And then if something comes back, then it comes back. But that's for God and you. Like that's just him directing whatever happens next. But it would release whatever it is that you may or may not be holding.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. I would like to say I will put the address on it, because by you not putting on it, you're taking away the other person's choice,
his opportunity to
right.
Yeah.
So if he doesn't want to, cool. You didn't want to let her back in the first place. But if he does, then he may have some things that he wants to say that he's been waiting to. And I'll just say this, just from the letter's perspective, it's almost the same thing that they do in AA, where you have to go out and you have to apologize for the people you hurt. It's not for them. It's for you not to feel guilty about it anymore.
Right.
So you can move forward, because when you don't forgive people, you have barriers up around whatever that issue was. If somebody betrayed you, if you never forgive them, you're not forgiving them so they can feel better. You forgiving them so that way you can move past wherever the issue is. So by you writing out the letter, whatever your concern is, whether it's anger, frustration, why didn't you do this? Did you not know? Just put all out there. That way you can move forward as a man. And then whatever he wants to do is his option. If he's not ready to, that's fine. If he is, it could be like his example. You could be getting a relationship back. You may be able to grow from it. So
right. That's a good point. Y'all making some good points. I don't like y'all niggas, but
well, let me say this before we get off. There's one other thing of value that might be there. So my conversation with my brother revealed some things, right? Mm-hmm. That I didn't know. And what I would say to you is that very rarely are things black and white. They're usually gray. They're not how we imagine things happen, whether it be a separation, whether it be, someone just, falling off the scene, is very rarely just clear cut. This is the reason. There's usually a lot of moving parts that lead to that. And if you find out what those parts are, sometimes they do give you more peace, because you can relate. You can not necessarily relate per se, but you can get an understanding, a clearer definition of like, I see how that happened. I see why you made that choice, and that may clear up a lot of things.
Gotcha. That's a good point.
yeah,
That's a good point. I'm gonna take all this in. You know what I'm saying? I do eventually plan on writing a letter, so it's most likely gonna be written. You know what I'm saying?
You want to put a date on it? You want to have it done?
Not really, because I don't know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? So, 'cause I don't know. I don't want to say, yeah, I'm gonna
have it done in a month or
a week, and then like, because I don't know how much of whatever it is going to come out, and I don't know how long it's going to take for all that stuff to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I understand that. Yeah.
But it will get written. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So, what are you gonna do?
Well, what? I'm gonna do what that group suggested. I'm gonna make a focused effort to start calling at least once a week.
Okay.
To piggyback off of that, because I now that I think about it, I didn't tell what I did because clearly they challenged all of us. So my dad lives in Shreveport, right? I live in Dallas. And so I committed to them to go visit him that weekend. So I literally dropped everything I did and I drove to Shreveport that weekend to spend time with him. When I did that, I made him a commitment that I was going to keep coming back, right? More frequently.
Right.
So literally once a month for like the next 6 months, I just kept going back to Shreveport just to see him. And that helped mend the relationship. And so it went from, well, he would have to call me every 3 to 4 weeks because he hasn't heard from me to, well, I'm here once a month to, oh, well, now I talk to him once a week. It was just that slight progression, but it all started with that first challenge and saying, oh, well, I'm gonna go out this one time on this weekend. And I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. Like, yeah, I'll come back more often. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna come once a month at least.
Right.
And then doing that to like, oh yeah, I could just pick up the phone because that's quicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's for sure. That's for sure, man. That's what's up, man. There's one question that I've gotten, and then I know we can jump into the topics that we want to discuss. But
you could.
The question was, do you feel like the absence of your father is why you're so involved in your daughter's life? And I was like, when I was asked the question, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's what that is, because it's not like I wake up every day and it's like, okay, I need to be a good person to my daughter because this person wasn't in my life. It's just like I wake up and I kind of just roll with the punches. You know what I mean? Like every day, whatever my daughter throws at me, which sometimes them hoes are making them hoes haymakers, boy. But you kind of you take them.
Tommy Hearns,
boy,
Tyson,
nigga, what? I'm talking about biting ears and everything, bro. But
I can see a lot of you doing that.
hey, I want to talk to you real quick.
Right? Yeah, but so I don't know if that's what that is. Like I said, I just kind of just wake up and just roll with the punches. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I don't think that's what that is, because it can go both ways. Because I can say on one end that I'm gonna be better than this person, and I'm chasing something that I don't even know what it is. I'm chasing to try to be better than something I don't even know what it is, and I can overexert myself, burn myself out, start resenting my daughter, maybe start resenting my wife. I don't know. You know what I mean? Or I can take the other end of that and say, the only thing I need to do to be a better father to my daughter than my dad was to me is to physically be in her life. And that's it.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I just, you know what I'm saying?
Boy,
so
hey,
it's like,
this is your podcast today, Dan.
That's a good shit.
so I don't think that's what it is. I really just think that each day I kind of just, whatever she throws at me, I just kind of just take it and I grow with it and I roll with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man,
that's all I had, bro.
No, not
bro.
Not because like now that makes me so. I agree with that question, because so like my dad smoked like all his life, always smoked, and as a kid I grew up saying I will never smoke because of him, and it's literally. I'm doing something, I wouldn't say in spite, because it's not healthy and it's a bad thing to do anyway.
Right.
But it's because I've had that influence, that's my reason why I don't need to try it.
That was your initial approach to it.
Right.
I got you.
And, and then also coming from a separate household, it's like, if I can help it, I don't want to ever be divorced. Especially if a child's involved, because I lived through that. I wouldn't want my son and daughter to go through that. So like, as soon as you said that question, like, oh shit, no, like, you like, you know what I'm saying? Because like for me, that's so real. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of,
that's real talk.
It's it's part of what influenced you. Whether it may be just you're not conscious of it. But like for me, like I know some of it is, yes, my parents made this mistake. I don't want to make the same mistake my parents made.
Right.
And that's a very conscious decision.
It is.
Transparency.
Yeah.
My father, like one of the things that I thought was a driving force in my mother and father separating was alcohol. So I did not drink alcohol until like my mid-20s.
Because you missed out.
I was so no, for real, because I was so afraid of being addicted to alcohol, and I was like, well, damn, one drink could take me down this path, and I don't want this path for me or my future or my family. And so I literally avoided, and that contributes to being lame. Cause like everybody seriously be like, yo, you want
this lame ass nigga?
You want to drink? Like,
you don't drink?
Nah, I'm good. You know, but they don't know I'm internally dealing with that shit.
Right.
You know, they just like, this lame ass nigga. Like, I want to fuck around with him. Like,
that's real.
But damn, that's crazy.
That's real, man.
Man.
How did we break off onto this?
I don't know how.
This was just supposed to be a
win.
The win.
What a win.
Yeah.
With my brother.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
That's what it was, man.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I don't know a clever segue.
I don't either. I don't have nothing.
Anyway, move on.
So, again,
what else you guys want to talk about today?
I know, right?
Really, that's really the go-to move right now.
Yeah, for real.
But no, it was something interesting I wanted to talk about, because in previous podcasts I have made it apparently clear that I am 100% against credit.
No, it's like 300%. Easily.
Well, if you had an interest. And I'm very interested. But I took a class on restoring credit and repairing credit. Mm-hmm. And so I got,
really?
Mr. Anti-Credit?
Yes. Mr.
Well, he went to that class. I'm going to tell this teacher thing too about credit.
Is that how you approached it? I'm curious.
Oh, no. So with my job description, we have to maintain a license, an insurance license. And so we have to take continuing education. So that was actually a class, a CE class that was offered. And so I wasn't doing shit. So I was like, oh yeah, like I'll take that class. It was like insurance and credit. And so it was funny because initially the class starts off by talking about how companies will use your credit score to basically give you a rate or decide on if they want, like, how they want to do business. Do you need to make a deposit or not? Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The first question he asked to the class, because we were like 30 deep in there, was, do you think that's fair?
And your response?
Well,
or did you respond?
Oh, I responded.
Okay.
I'm sure he did.
I always respond.
He said, okay, I want you to listen to episode 3 of my podcast. 25 minutes into it, that's my answer.
Some people were like, yeah, I think that's fair. Like, I think it's fair that, if I have a good credit score, I should get more benefits. And that made sense to me. I was like, yeah, I can see that. And he asked me, what do I think? And I was like, well, no, I don't think that that's right. Again, it's a classroom, so I'm not taking over his class, so I didn't go into detail of why. Right. I just gave him my answer. And he kind of shocked me because he said, I've been doing this for years. I've been studying this for years, and I'm here to tell you right now, I don't think that's fair. So I'm shocked. I'm like, oh, okay, wait a minute. We rolling, we in here.
Right.
And so he goes on to say, he says, the reason I say that it's not fair is because a credit score does not necessarily tell you someone's story exactly. It's not a perfect reflection of them.
Okay.
So it might be some people with bad credit scores because they got divorced. And they're working to build the credit back up, and you're hitting them. He said, personally, I went bankrupt. He said, I filed for bankruptcy. I got divorced and I filed for bankruptcy. Now, he said, he joked because he said, well, I can safely say that me filing for bankruptcy led to my divorce, but I can also safely say that my divorce actually led me to filing bankruptcy.
Nice.
And so, and he basically wrapped it up by saying that, look, one of the things in sidebar relationship advice, he said, if you're not prepared to lay all of yourself out financially to your significant other, you're not really ready to get married. Especially in a common law state such as Texas.
Right.
Because what happens is what's mine is now hers. What's hers is now mine. So the debt that I owe is now hers.
Yeah.
The debt that she owes is now mine. The house or property that I own is now hers, and vice versa. So he filed for bankruptcy, and he more or less equated it to dropping an atomic bomb on his credit score. Because that's what happens.
Yeah.
You file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, it's like literally
Right.
you're telling everybody that you owe, like you've been paying them all this time, and just be like, I tap out. I'm tapping out.
Y'all ain't getting nothing else. Look.
I not gonna be able to do it. And so he started talking about the process of building up credit. So one of the things that came up was the credit bureaus. He was like, well, how do you make sure your credit is the way it is? And he said, well, one, you want to get your annual credit report.
Right.
And he said the reason you do that is because one, it's giving you all three credit bureaus. Now you could have Credit Karma, and it's definitely good to have, but he said you get what you pay for, and it's good for what you pay for. It's free.
Right.
So you're getting 2 out of the 3 credit bureaus. But the reason you want all 3 is because you need to make sure that they're all telling the same story.
Right.
So, for example, they had a commercial back in the day where it was a FICO commercial where they had this dude, I don't know if y'all remember, like in this like super swole dude, right? And he walked up, he do his little, how niggas walk in the gym when they get done pressing.
Hell yeah.
Right?
All swollen shit.
Yeah, all swole.
All fake.
Yeah. And he was like, yeah, like I always picture Arnold Schwarzenegger be like, I'm number 715. and it has 715 on his shirt, right?
Right.
And then the other one will come by and he would be like, I'm 698. Right?
Yeah.
And then the last one comes by and he's like, hi, I'm 513.
Oh,
And it represented the 3 credit bureaus.
Right.
Well, that's a problem. If all 3 credit bureaus are not saying the exact same thing or close to it.
Okay, you're saying all these were the same person, given 3 different numbers.
Well, so
think of like a muscle contest. And they have their number on them.
Yeah.
So one number was
Experian.
right, and then another was TransUnion, and another one was Equifax.
Right. But I'm saying, but it was all for the same person, but 3 different numbers.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
It's all for the same person.
Yeah,
So-
gotcha.
So he mentioned that what you want to do, first thing you want to do when you're cleaning up your credit, once you make that decision, I'm committed to doing that, is you want to make sure all credit bureaus are reporting the same story. And so the variance you're looking for is 50. If it's more than 50 points on your variance from one credit bureau to the other, it's hurting you. So that 500 whatever in that commercial is actually hurting the 715 and the 698.
Okay.
So you got to make sure, like, okay, well, some companies, they report to certain credit bureaus and not others. So you
Right.
got to make sure that you hit that credit bureau and let them know that, hey, look, I have an account with this company. I pay them every month, and make sure that that's reflected on the credit report.
Right.
Okay.
Or even calling the company and just telling them, hey, I need you to report this to this company or to this credit union like TransUnion because it's not showing.
Right. Yeah.
Also, he mentioned some credit cards. So what the FICO does is it reports all your balances, right?
Okay.
But it's also supposed to report all of your limits. Well, he found on he had 2 credit cards he had a credit card that was reporting to 2 bureaus. It gave the limit and it gave his balance.
Right. Okay.
But for one bureau, it only gave him his limit. So it was looking to that credit bureau like he was maxed out.
Oh.
It didn't differentiate the balance. So he had to call the company to tell them to report it to the credit bureau. And as soon as he did that, it jumped his credit score.
Wow.
Because they have to see a gap. So the purpose of getting a credit report is just to make sure everybody's getting the same information. If you see one's not, you need to find out what's not being reported to them.
I wonder. and not to deviate from you know,
go for it.
But I'm trying to figure out. Okay, one, because you said that you get what you pay for, because you know Credit Karma is free.
Right.
They only report they don't report Experian. It's like one, like why isn't this stuff free? First, like why can't we just get our credit report whenever we want from all three bureaus? And then two, it's like how do credit bureaus? Y'all may not even know the answer, but how do credit bureaus make money?
I have no idea.
That's a hell of a question.
That's a great question.
You know what I'm saying? If all they're doing
pull
is
the iPhone and get to Google.
nah, I mean, because it's like if that's the case, I mean, all three should be free. I would think.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But
to answer your question, I have no idea why we can't get our credit reports at any time.
Right. And if there's a listener out there who may know the answer to that, I mean, hit us up on Facebook,
please,
or IG or something like that, and let us know. Matter of fact, it may be a question we can post.
You know what? Let's do that.
We could do that. We'll post it on IG or something like that.
Yeah, because we got a bunch of credit repair people that follow us for some reason.
I'm not sure why.
Yo ass nigga, that's why. Boy, you. Let me go to school Reyes real quick.
I'm about to get them niggas too. But one thing he said that was interesting, he posed this question, and I wanted to ask y'all. Y'all might know the answer though. He said, at what percentage point does your credit usage on your credit card hurt you? Like what percentage? So if you have a credit card, so you got $10,000 on it, what's the percentage of use you can use before it starts hurting you?
10% is what adjusts it.
Is that right?
Yeah, I know 10% is the normal answer. I wouldn't go over 20. So I think anything over 21% would be bad.
Now, if you're talking about hurting versus
where it starts bringing down your
bringing it
score.
down, I would say 10%. If you use 10% of your available credit, then it starts to kind of like start to chip away at it. Not a lot, but
Right.
it chips away at it. I would think, right?
So I was told that too. When I was going through the home buying process, they said 10%. Don't go over 10%. Now he said 40% is when it really starts to negate. Like anything up to that threshold is 40. So I'm just gonna take the difference and say I wouldn't recommend over 30.
Yeah.
30. I've heard 32. As far as like a
maximum.
like when it starts really chipping away. at you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like if it's 10, you may lose like a few points here or there, but the higher, like you said, going to 30s, 35s, and 40s, then
Yeah, that's a problem.
yeah.
So he talked about why is it such a hard thing to control your credit score, right? And he made the comment that it's hard to manage when you have so many different accounts.
Yeah.
And so he said you need to watch the danger zone. So for anybody looking to repair their credit, when is the danger zone? Black Friday to New Year's.
Yeah.
That is the danger zone.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, picture yourself. You go through the store and be like, oh, would you like 15% off? Something.
If you apply for this credit card.
Yep. Like, they kill you.
Yeah, they do.
And then what happens is you have so many accounts that you're trying to keep a hold of that you get late on one. And then it's like, okay, well, the interest starts hitting you. And now you got to take money away from what you were doing and put it on that. It gets too complicated. So
Right, yeah.
he said once you identify all of the stories are telling the same story, all the bureaus, you need to start working on the management. So cancel. You need to close these accounts. That's going to help you. However, you need to be careful. Logic tells you to close the account with the highest interest rate, right?
Right.
But that's not necessarily the smartest thing to do. Because you never, ever want to close the account that's the oldest.
Yeah.
And the oldest account usually has the highest interest rate.
Right. I don't know if I don't know if I agree with closing the account though. Outside of just not using the card anymore. Because another thing that closing the account does is
it brings down
drops your available credit.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, you don't want to be out here with 15 lines of credit because that also hurts you as well. Because you have access to so much debt.
You're overexposed.
Yeah, you have too much debt.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about 15 credit cards. I mean, y'all know niggas that have 15 credit cards?
Yes.
I know people that have 8.
See, nah. Like me, I have 2.
Damn.
Right?
Yo, you should have hit him with that Jeezy. Be like, damn,
son. But I have 2. But shit, if I close one, that literally cuts my available credit in half. And so what does that do with?
Raise your limit on the other cars.
Well,
Not only that, but shit, it raises my percentage of usage.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
you don't want that.
Right. So when I have 10%, if I close the card, 10% goes to 50,
20%, yeah.
45, 50%, and now my credit score is dropping.
Well, he brought that up. So what do you think is? He said there is a magic number for credit cards.
The best number of cards to have?
Yes, there is a magic number. What do you think that would
I'll
be?
say 3.
I don't plan on getting another one, so I'm gonna say 2.
5.
Get the.
I said the exact same.
You done
I
lost
was
your-
like 5.
I mean, I can if you can manage it, I can see, because I mean, you can swipe one and then pay it off, and then if you want to show that, that's cool. But that's a lot of shit. That'd be a lot of shit for me to keep.
That's a lot for me.
That's to me. I have 1 credit card. That's more than enough.
So let's hear him out.
Okay, go ahead.
So he broke it down. He said, okay, well, you want to have 2 major credit cards.
Okay.
You want to have 2 credit cards from your favorite stores. So his stores are like Home Depot and Best Buy.
Oh, not Best Buy gets you in trouble.
Why though?
Because it shows that that you're flexible with managing a certain amount of accounts, and they're all in different I don't want to say types of industries, but it's like, oh well, let me tell you what the last card is. The last card is automotive. So you have 2 major credit cards, Visa, MasterCard, whatever. You have 2 from your favorite stores because you're going to shop there anyway. So that means that you'll most likely use it and then be able to pay something off with hopefully a low interest rate. Because, they'll be like, oh, well, your first 6 months is interest free. Right. And then the automotive is in case of an emergency. So like if your tires blow out and you don't have any savings account or anything like that,
right,
you have that in case of an emergency and you can pay that back off. So he would say that's the more or less balance. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that.
I don't agree with that.
I think that's he's tripping.
I mean, I know he's been in the game a long time, but shit, outside of doing that, what I would do is I don't know if you're gonna touch on this later, but what I would do. What do you want to finish your notes?
No, go.
Okay, so what I would do is see if I can raise my credit limit on a card,
right,
on 2 cards versus applying for another one.
So that's a good segue. So for listeners, this may be news. This may not be news. For me, this is news. I did not know that credit card companies were able to negotiate like that. I knew that I knew about negotiating settlements, like getting the debt off.
Yeah.
And I've asked for a credit extension. Like, well, I have, $1,000 credit limit. Let me get $1,200. I want to raise my credit limit. And they'd be like, and they come back and be like, oh, well, we'll give you $1,200. We'll give you $1,500. Like I've seen that, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could negotiate the interest rate. That's news to me. He said, if you have not called your credit card company and asked them to lower your interest rate, you are missing out.
Well, I asked and they said no.
Okay.
I've never thought about doing that. I did that on one card, and it was when I just got it because they gave me a high interest rate, and I was like, well, damn shit. I mean, y'all ran my credit. I know you see my interest rate and all that stuff on the other card. Why would you give me a high interest rate? And she's like, well, we just got to see, once you pay on it a little bit, we can revisit it. I'm just like, well, shit. I hadn't thought about it since.
So he gave the script. Now, there's certain things that need to be in place before you can pull this off. So you're not just going to have a low ass credit score and be like, yo, lower my interest rate. No, nigga. It's over. You got to have some sort of leverage.
This nigga right finna find out why he got denied.
So Rez, tell me why I was denied on the lower interest rate. Go ahead. I want to hear what needs to be in place beforehand. Because I got a stern. I said, hey, y'all just calling in because my interest is I want to. No. Okay, thank you so much.
Well, so here's the deal. Credit cards companies, they market aggressively to us. They spend millions, billions of dollars to get us, or billions of dollars to get us to get these credit cards. So it's a highly competitive field.
Right.
So he said what you do is you leverage one credit card company against the next. I think we've all been in this position where we open up the mail and they'd be like, you've been pre-approved and you have 0% interest for the next 12 months,
right?
With this interest rate. So you take that letter and you call your credit card company and you tell them, hey, look, I want a lower interest rate. Now they're probably going to tell you no. That's the default answer.
Right. Oh, okay.
And
I feel better then.
Well, yeah. Why would I get because you haven't given me a reason.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just saying, well, lower my shit. No. All right. That's fine. Great. Glad we had this discussion.
No reason or no rebuttal. You just it's like, oh, okay, all right. I guess not.
Okay. But you tell them, it's like, look, I've been with you guys for, and I'm freestyling this, but like it would go something like this, like, hey, look, I've been with you guys for about 3 years, and I pay my monthly bill. Now I have a letter in the mail right now where I have an offer for 0% interest for 6 months, and my interest rate's only going to be 9% after that. So why should I stay with your company at 14% when I can just go with this company at 9 and close my account? Why would I stay with you? Now I want to be loyal. I've been with you guys and I'd like to continue to be with you guys. I need some help. I need you to lower my interest rate. Now they may come back. Let's say if you started at 15 or 14 or whatever it was, they may come back and say, okay, well, you know what? You're a value member, of the company. We definitely want you to stick with us because they make a killing off of you.
Mm-hmm.
We can do 10%. And it's a negotiation at that point. And if you want to take that. Because again, they know you got to understand the negotiating war. Your leverage is the other credit card company. Their leverage is the history. You don't want to cancel that card if you've been with them for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take. So you got to dance with the devil. You got to know how, you got to know what's a good point and what's a bad point. You can't just go in there Bogart and being like, oh, well, no, I want 9%. Well, nigga, I'm giving you 10 and I'm letting you keep 3 years of your history. Right. So know your strengths and know your weaknesses. But if you have been paying, especially say if your credit score has gone up since the last time you've asked for this,
right,
they're going to be more willing to negotiate with you because they do not want to lose on that revenue. Because a high credit score, again, from previous episodes, means that you have a history or a penchant for paying off debt. So they know in their mind that triggers like, oh, well, shit, they got a pretty good credit score. If I give them money, they're going to pay me. So it's a pretty safe bet that, yeah, I might be losing out on 5%, but I know I'm going to get my money versus he cancels and I get nothing.
Right.
So if you are not doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I think I'm gonna try that out, man.
Yeah.
Cause I even know on my credit card that I've had the longest, like my interest rate kind of jumped a little bit. Not a lot. It jumped, but I was like, wait, I've never been late on y'all niggas. Why are you jumping? I thought it was like something like market, like the industry or something like that, and something kind of went up. But I'm gonna try that shit. I mean, they probably know I'm not going anywhere because I've had this card, nigga, since I was in North Texas.
But you got to sell them. You got to make them feel like, yeah, there's no reason for me to stay with you.
Yeah, nah.
All right, so this is just a question off what you just said because it's interesting. Now, would you suggest already having another card with a lower interest rate?
It wasn't interesting before. I just want to point that out. He said
basically that's what the shot was.
Well, no.
Now it's getting interesting. I have a question.
Like, man, the shots on these shows is real.
Nigga, you throwing them.
Saying that? Like you saying it?
No, it wasn't a shot. Nah,
but
I wouldn't do
no.
it.
So
I wouldn't do it. But so instead of just having another offer, let's say you already have another card with another company, and you just have less time. Let's say with card A, you have 5 years. With card B, you only have like a year and a half going on 2 years. It's like, well, I already have another card with the company. They're already giving me a lower rate,
right?
So I can just increase my limit and just cancel this one out altogether. Or is the offer? Which one do you think will hold more weight?
You could do that. I think it depends on the person delivering the message, like how convincing you are.
Yeah.
Because, well, let's be real. I could call my credit card company today, and I don't have a letter in the mail. And I can tell them I have a letter in the mail that says I have 0% interest for the first 6 months.
I mean,
I don't really have that letter.
you can say that, but they have access to your credit.
Yeah, my
So-
score.
Right. So
They don't have access to my mail.
Yeah, the
I mean,
mail is
but based on your score,
Yeah, they'll know.
You know, they know like, okay, most companies are going to offer this.
Right. So,
Well, depending if it's,
so
good or
that's
bad.
the prerequisite. Remember, you got to base it in reality. So you can't come in there with no super low credit score and be like, "Oh yeah, I just got this letter for 0% interest." Like
for 24 months or some
nigga,
shit.
from who?
Yeah.
Like, no, be realistic in your. So I would prefer you get the letter because now you're speaking from fact, and there'll be more conviction in what you say because you're literally reading. Look, there's a letter in front of me.
Oh, yeah. No, you a gangster. No, you want me to email it to you? What's
Like
your email?
I can send this to you,
Right.
But if you don't have the letter, as long as it's realistic, it's still there. It just depends on how bad they want to keep you and how valuable you are to them. And if you're not very valuable, they're going to say no.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Sidebar, found out something very interesting. One of the worst debts in America is medical debt. So let's talk about it. So with medical debt, this just happened. What was this? August of 2017. There was a change made by FICO. They made a decision that basically a lot of people in America pay their debts pretty well outside of medical debt. Medical debt is not historically paid very well. I don't think that's a stretch of the imagination when you think about how expensive medical expenses are.
Yeah, no, I could agree to that.
So what they did was they said no longer is your medical debt going to count against your FICO score. That's huge. That's huge. However,
amazing.
However, there's a caveat.
I figured there would be.
I'm about to say, man, you gonna get rid of that much? money?
I think I know what the caveat is too.
Take a guess.
All right, so I'm gonna say that the medical debt doesn't count, but when they sell your debt to collections, is that where you're going?
Nope.
Okay,
But we'll talk about collections real quick after this because there's something you need to know about that. So with the medical debt, here's the problem. Anytime FICO makes a change, historically it takes about 2 to 3 years for that change to take effect by all the companies that are participating with the credit scores. So if they change a program, it takes time for them to implement it into all of these companies.
That makes sense.
Right. So meanwhile, while you're doing this, you still owe that debt, right? Well, when a collector calls you, because let's say it's in collections, right? Because most medical debt goes into collections.
Right.
Right. Here's what you do. Here's the dispute that you would present to them is, look, I want to know who the doctor was. I want to know what the procedure was for. I want to know what the diagnosis is. Because if you're going to, for a creditor to come after you, they have to prove you actually owe the debt. That's facts. They have to present the valid reason you owe. Oh, you owe us $10,000. Why? Oh, here you go. It's because you took out this credit card at this time, or you took out this loan at this time and you haven't paid us back, right?
Okay.
I want to know the doctor's name. I want to know the diagnosis. I want to know what the treatment was for. I.e., I want the medical records. What protects medical records?
HIPAA.
And they don't have HIPAA. They can't get access to the medical records. From a collector's standpoint, if it's a collection agency calling you for a medical debt, if you tell them you want this information, they have to present it. Otherwise, they can't collect. And if they can't present that information, they have to drop it. That is legal.
And if they do present it, then they got a whole nother.
That's a whole nother problem. How did you get my medical authorization without my?
I've never heard that. Oh, I've never heard that one.
That is huge.
So on the other side of that, because I have been through that, so I will speak on it, is you also have to make sure that it has to be sold off into a different collection agency. Because
if it's a hospital, that's not going to work.
Because the hospital,
if it's a hospital, it's not going to work.
The hospital has their own collections that they have that's in-house.
Correct.
I want my doctor. Okay, here it is.
Right.
Oh, well, shit. Okay.
So that's why I was saying, like, if it's in collections,
It has
like
to be
the real collections,
It has to be sold off to a third-party collection agency for that to work.
And they're just selling off the balance.
correct.
Right.
I didn't know that.
So if you go to the hospital today, you can't say tomorrow, what's the diagnosis? I need the code. They will give it to you.
They will give it to
Do
you.
you want an email? Do you want to mail it to you? How you want this?
Right.
I didn't know that. That's actually wow. Okay.
So
Which actually makes sense why they're taking out of credit because it's too easy to get out of.
correct. So just a tip for y'all. Speak between the lines. Tip. Anyway, let's talk about collections. Here's the deal with collections, and I'll speed through this one because it's pretty self-explanatory. When something goes to collections, that means that the opportunity to pay whoever you owe, that time has passed. They've literally given up on you, and they've sold your debt for pennies on the dollar.
Right.
So more or less, the people that are calling you and harassing you are just commission reps. Now, I don't want to get ethical on this. I'm just going to keep it 100. You have no obligation to pay them 100% of what you owe. Because technically, you don't necessarily owe them. You owed ABC Company. I'm just laying the groundwork for what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad
Yeah.
because I think I asked that question in an earlier episode.
You did.
Yeah.
So everything comes full circle.
It only took 10 episodes for us to get back to it.
Right. Okay. So here's the deal. Tip number one. If the debt is over 2 years old, you have no incentive to pay anything. Because once the 2 year mark happens, 7 years is the limit. Once 7 years pass, it drops. But every day past the 2 year mark that passes, that's hurting you less and less. Your credit score. It's going to hurt you less.
Okay.
Time is your friend. Do not touch any collection that is over 2 years old. It is not worth it, especially if you're not paying that in full. Logic tells you, oh, well, a zero balance is better than having a balance with, a collection agency. Not if it's over 2 years. Now, you got to consider who you're talking to. They're commission reps. They're going to promise you the sun, the moon, the stars, and world peace to get a piece of the collection. They're not going to want to settle it necessarily outright sometimes because they're incentivized not to. If I got $1,000 debt and I only paid, $75 for it? Maybe $200 for it, max?
Yeah.
I'm going to probably tell you, well, look, you owe us this debt. This is an attempt to collect the debt. We can actually get you started repaying it back at $50 a month. Now you have this much of interest in it, but I'm hooking you because once you pay partial on it, that 7 years starts over. Now I definitely have you. You're stuck. There's no way out at that point. You got to pay them because now your credit score is really finna tank because it's fresh. So sometimes they get desperate and they'll say, oh, well, for today only, we can settle the debt for 70%. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one time only, like just today. This is the only day in history that we can do this. Fuck out of here. But but they'll do that. So what you want to do, I would recommend, and he also recommended this, is negotiate. He says straight up, off rip, I'm offering to pay them 40%. Look, I'll pay you, but I'm only paying you 40%.
This
now,
is when you're still within the 2 years, though, right?
Yeah, whenever.
Whenever, all right.
Yeah, even if you say it's after 2 years, but you just want to get it off, just because consciously you just want to get it off.
Okay.
That's fine. If you pay it in full.
Yeah.
Now, if you partial paying, that's an L.
I got you.
But if you're just trying to settle it in full, okay, you know what? You're right. I do owe that. You say I owe you $1,000. I'm willing to give you $400. That's the start. Now they're gonna come back like, oh well, we can't do that. I mean, you do owe us the money. Today only we can settle it for $700. No, I can give you $400. I have $400 right now. Take it or leave it.
For today only.
For today only.
For today only. 'Cause I guarantee you, I can find something else to do with this damn
I can give this money to somebody else. Hell yeah, J-Rock. Hell
For today only. One time special.
$400. Now, if they whatever they agree on, say you meet in the middle and it's $500, whatever. Get it in writing first. If they are not going to send it in writing, they get no money. I need a letter I need a email or something from you with your company logo on it saying that you're going to settle this in full. Make sure it says settlement in full to settle this debt. I get that email, I'll send you the money. If they say any slick shit like, oh, well, send us the money, then nope. If you can't take 30 seconds to shoot me an email, you really don't want my money. And I can give this to somebody else.
Right.
And I'm going to.
Believe me. That's the reason you got your account.
Right.
So that's the thing is just making sure that you do that. And lastly, as far as disputes, if you're going to dispute something when all else fails, go for the long. It's a long haul. So stop going to these credit repair people and paying them all this money. And what they're going to tell you is, well, we're going to dispute the debt that you owe. Well, you can do that by yourself. Literally, all you need to do is write a letter and send it certified mail to the bureaus and whichever bureau it is and tell them, oh, well, I'm disputing this, and this. It doesn't matter what the reason is. Oh, well, the address was wrong. Oh, well, I don't have any records of this account. I need you to send me proof of it. Whatever the reason is. If they don't answer in 30 days, they legally have to take that off. Now, typically, they have a department that's going to answer that within 30 days.
That Abe worked in.
Correct. Yeah. So what you do is you play the long game. You focus on activity, not on results. I'm going to send this letter every month until they stop. Say it's 6 months. I would literally have it screenshot, like already typed up. I'm just going to change the date where I'm contesting it every month. And I'm going to send it certified every month. And sooner or later, human element might happen. And they slip. Maybe they're overworked that month. Maybe too many people are contesting that month. But if that happens, fine. But that's a better strategy than I'm going to pay this credit repair person $300, $400 to do the exact same thing. And then Ave gets the fucking letter. It's like, no, nigga, you still owe us. No, nigga, you still owe us.
So is there's not anything else? Because I don't know what credit repair people do. There's not anything else that they do outside of just sending letters?
There's an illegal thing that they do where they'll say, well, we're going to create a tax ID number for you and build your credit under that new 10. Instead of the social security number, they'll build it under the tax ID number. That's highly illegal.
Oh shit.
That's how I didn't know
okay,
that.
Do they do anything else that's legal?
Yeah. Do they do anything else?
Well, I'm not trying to shit on the whole industry. I mean, there might be.
It definitely sounds like it.
I'm just saying there might be some kind soul in that industry that says, you know what, I'm going to teach you the fundamentals of balancing, paying your accounts. And if that person exists, more power to them. Meanwhile, this is what you do as a backup. So that's it. I learned a lot from that class.
That's what's up. So has it changed your perspective on credit at all?
Hell no.
Are you team credit?
Hell no. But I learned a valuable lesson. What I found out in paying debt is you're going to have a high credit score anyway because you're paying debt. So if you're going to have a high credit score while paying debt, you might as well manage it. So yeah, I mean, I have a credit score and I'm not necessarily proud of it because of the number it is. I'm just proud because it's like, oh yeah, I'm paying off my debt. So now my credit score is reflecting that, yeah, that debt is going down.
Gotcha.
So it's just a byproduct. But if you're interested in having a credit score and having, a high credit score, repairing it, these are some tips.
That's what's up, man. Nice tips. Nice tip. Is anybody out there want to go against what Rez has to say or cuss him out in any way? You can hit us up on our social media, Speak Between the Lines, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All right, so we got movie quotes. We're going to say a movie quote. Well, I'm going to say it. Rock and Rez, they're going against each other today.
First to three.
Yes, sir. Got to complete them.
Yeah, let the quote.
Let the quote finish.
J-Rock was murdering niggas. Okay, go ahead.
All right, and then like I said, first to three wins. All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
All right, now I'm kind of in the middle, so y'all don't be looking.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Okay. So we got one right here. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
They're here.
I have no idea what that is.
I'm about to say, is there anything else that goes with that?
They're here.
They're here.
Yeah. Worse than you complete me. You get two
this
words.
nigga's holding a grudge.
They're
I mean,
here.
but I gave you the whole scene, so
They're here.
they're here.
I have no idea what that is.
Independence Day.
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing. Signs?
No, but you're in the right genre.
Aliens.
Paranormal Activity?
Nah.
I have no idea. I'm just guessing at this point. They're here.
I don't know.
I know it's something with alien or sci-fi.
What was it?
Poltergeist.
Yeah. I wouldn't have got
Okay. Y'all ready?
that. Yep.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all?
Cinderella.
Nope.
Magnificent.
Oz.
Nope.
No, what's it?
Snow White.
Snow White. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Cinderella. Stupid. Idiot. I'm tripping. What was Cinderella about? I forgot.
You remember what Cinderella?
I really
She
don't.
lost a shoe and then
Oh,
the ball
yeah.
kissed on
all
the
that
skin.
stuff.
ball.
Yeah.
That movie was trash.
Yeah.
Wow.
But she was like because she was the ugly ass sister or the
She was
ugly.
she was the dime.
No,
Man.
she wasn't.
No,
she was
no.
like the
She was
the help.
Beyonce.
She was the dime. Even in poverty, she was the dime.
But she was the help though.
But she was still Beyonce.
I don't care what the status is. I want to know what you look like.
Preferences.
Right. All right, y'all ready for this next one?
Yeah.
Okay. It was Beauty that killed the Beast.
Beauty and the
Beauty and
Beast.
Beast.
Nope.
It was Beauty that killed the Beast. That sounds like Beauty and the Beast.
It does, but it's not.
Oh, genre. Give me the genre.
Nah.
Yeah, that killer beast. What the
It was
fuck?
Beauty that killed the Beast.
I have no ideas.
It was Beauty that killed it. I've seen that. It's in an obscure movie though. That's a tricky one. He did that on purpose.
Like 90s type movie?
Nah. It was probably one of the first ones though. I will say that. There have been a lot of remakes. I'll tell y'all that. It was a lot of remakes. This was probably the first one that dropped though.
Cruel Intentions?
Y'all got nothing?
Nah.
King Kong.
Oh, it was King Kong. That was a good one.
All right. Yeah. Have y'all even scored?
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, he got Cinderella.
Okay.
No, yeah.
All right. You ready for this
I
next
feel like I
one?
got one before that, but yeah, whatever. Cinderella.
Get your stinking paws off me, you dirty
Planet
ape.
of Apes.
Yeah, Dirty Monkey.
That's not it?
That's two.
Oh, I thought it was the wrong answer. I was like, wait a minute.
no, that was it.
it's
Yeah,
Planet of
my
Apes.
bad. Nah,
It's
that was
Planet of
it.
the Apes.
I was like, is it Rise?
That was it. Yo, Adrian.
Rocky. That's a tie.
I don't know. I got it first, but okay.
I don't want to survive. I want to live.
Ooh, that's a good one.
The fuck?
What was
I want
that?
to survive, I want to live.
I don't want to survive. I want to live.
That's a dope ass quote, though.
Was that Rez?
Boy. Hell no. Is that Rez? Shit, did I say that shit?
That sounds like me. I got nothing. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is.
Damn, 12 Years a Slave.
I've never seen that.
Wow.
No, real talk. I've never seen that. Dog.
What are you talking about,
No, I
bro?
got to a point where I was so sick of Hollywood and slave movies. I was like, I'm not doing this again.
I can understand that. I can understand.
I think Django was the last one I watched, and then everything that came after that, I was like, nah.
I got you. I can understand that. Okay.
I was like, y'all make a movie where we a king, and I'll be back. And what kind of happened?
That's what's up. Okay. So, you still need one more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Keep Swimming.
Oh, Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
I've never seen that.
Damn.
I've never seen
Well,
Finding
I can't
Nemo.
say shit because I didn't watch the black movie. All right, man. So, Read Between the Lines podcast. This was a good mix of things.
This was actually pretty good. I hate complimenting our podcast at the end of them, but this was actually pretty good. Especially when we really didn't
plan on the first.
we didn't have much.
topic,
Yeah,
so-
we didn't plan on the first topic. We kind of just rolled into the other topic. All right, we got anything else?
Nah, man, I'm good.
All right, man. It's your boy King A.
J Rock in the building.
Yo, Rez,
Speak Between the Lines. We out of here.
1.
2.